mean, Tyner came back and did his thing. And, I mean, we always knew Tyner can do it. When he want to go, he gonna go. And I was big time. I mean, he a big time player, and that's what we expect from him. We expect nothing less. I mean, when he did it, I mean, it didn't surprise us because we knew what he was capable of.
He admitted that he did pay attention to a little bit of the outside talks about him as a player, and now he can just kind of play with a chip on his shoulder and got rid of that at the Rose Bowl. Do you feel like he's just back to focusing on football and doing his thing alongside Royce Freeman?
After that performance, yeah. After that performance I seen, yeah, it seemed exactly like he had his normal self. And I ain't really pay attention to the outside stuff or what they were saying because I always knew he was a good football player.
What do you remember from the national title game? You would have been a red shirt, right, in 2010. What do you remember from that game?
I remember the play where Eddie made the tackle and dude bounced up. And I remember actually, I think it was going into the fourth quarter, they actually ran to our sideline and was talking smack on our sideline. And me being a young player, I'm like, all right, let me get him. And, I mean, that's what I really remember, just that competition. It was a big game, man. All that, but I mean, I remember the little things within the game.
You're there as you're red shirting. Did you think it would take until your senior year to get back to that point, or do you think you'd have been there before?
I thought we was gonna be there way before. I thought we was gonna be there the following year. Honestly, every year I felt like we had the team to get there, but I mean, it ain't work like that, and obviously things happen for a reason. So, I mean, we here for a reason now.
Does it make you appreciate the struggle to get back to this point because it hasn't been an every year thing?
Yeah, I mean, it do make you appreciate the struggle because you understand that you ain't entitled, so it humbles you. Every year we have to get humbled, and honestly this year I feel like we just fought for each other. So that's why I'm really happy that we're here because I mean, us playing for each other and playing together, that kind of showed that it paid off for us.
About that LSU game at Cowboys Stadium, you remember that well? Playing in that stadium?
Yeah, I remember that game. I remember lining up against some of the best that's doing it in the NFL now. So I mean, I feel like it prepared me. So
who'd you line up against in that game?
I remember on one of the punts I lined up against Tyrann Matthews. I got hit with a double move by Bill Beckham. But I mean, I'm excited for it.
Good. Did you hear what Jameis Winston said after the Rose Bowl about the game could have gone either way and you guys never stopped him?
I mean, I ain't got no comment on that one. I mean, obviously we did something right. We held them to 20 points. We stopped them on the goal line when it mattered most. So obviously we stopped them. I mean, that's a good team over there. They got a lot of good skilled players, good athletes, and they fight hard. So I mean, it's gonna be a good game.
Did you get a chance to see Urban Meyer's reaction after the Sugar Bowl, finding out how much you guys hung on FSU?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny, but I'm sure they're gonna be ready.
How much have you guys? I mean, I know the coach talked about you guys have been looking at some tape, maybe on one of the coaching staff. How much you know about them?
They're a good football team, and I mean, they're gonna come out and they're gonna play hard. Like I said, they got good skill positions, and they're gonna come out and fight hard.
Did you grow up with some of those guys, Troy?
Nah.
No. You grew up watching Ohio State all or any?
Yeah, but I used to root for Michigan though, so I ain't.
Why was that?
I mean, just Lloyd Carr in that whole era. So I mean, and all my family liked Ohio State too, so I always like to do something different.
Have you heard from some people back home kind of on the matchup?
Yeah, man. You got some that they all support him, but I mean, they all put that bug in my ear talking about Ohio State this, Ohio State that. But I mean, I ain't really worried about it too much.
How much time do you guys take after the Rose Bowl and kind of sit back and enjoy it?
And maybe just right after the game, then we gotta understand that we got another one. It's kind of weird because usually when you go through that ball game, that's it. But I mean, after that, I just had to understand that we got another one, a more important one.
When was your first meeting, or when was your first official back to football thing?
Today with the team.
In prepping for Ohio State, see any similarities, maybe just in terms of tempo compared to what you practice against everybody?
I mean, just good athletes. We got good athletes on our team. They all come out and fight hard and play hard.
Do you think practicing against your tempo gives you some sort of leg up in terms of being ready for what they're going to try to do?
I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do. We're not too much worried about what they're gonna do. We gotta come out and execute our own assignments and not really get too caught up about what they're trying to do to us. As long as we handle our own business and execute our technique, I'm sure we'll be good.
The story on Ohio State is with the third-team quarterback, but obviously it's not a regular third-team quarterback.
Bigger, stronger arm. I mean, he's not afraid to go out there and make plays. I mean, being that that's as a third string quarterback. I mean, you just go out there on a limb and do what you got to do to make plays for your team. And I mean, that's what he's doing.
Everybody talks about his arm strength. What is, as a defensive back, what is a quarterback with a cannon for an arm? What does that do? What do you have to do to stop that?
I mean, you gotta hope your D-line get pressure and understand that them boys they gonna be a lot longer and a lot higher and further. So I mean, that's what you gotta mentally prepare yourself and understand that these routes gonna be a lot farther because of it.
So it really kind of opens up the field that way.
Yeah.
Your first game was at Dallas Stadium, and now you're going to finish your career there as well. Have you thought about that?
No, I ain't never think about it. Since you pointed out, it's kind of crazy to really think about how that's crazy.
How do you think the program has come since 2010 when you guys went there, and now that you're back in the national championship? How have you guys improved on both sides of the ball?
I mean, I feel like we just became more of a team, and honestly, everybody played for each other a lot more. And me being here from these 5 years, that's what I've been seeing. A lot of the players, they just come rally around each other. And I mean, it's that next man up thing, but I mean, we all treat each other as brothers, and that's what's big for us.
You redshirted in 2010. Did you think it would take this long to get back to this game?
Man, I didn't really think it was going to take this long because when I committed here, one of the things I seen was Oregon was on the rise, so I expected us to be in there every year. I mean, we was close every year, but I mean, now that it's here, it's just going to take it as a blessing.
When you look at the number of guys you guys lost in injury, is it pretty amazing that you guys got here and never had one of those that really was a speed bump for you guys and cost you a game or two?
Yeah. But I mean, it's not necessarily next man up. It's just everybody on the team, they rallying around and they playing a little harder and fighting a little harder. So, I mean, I feel like that's what the team really did was fight for their brothers.
Was there any injury that went down when you thought, oh, I don't know that we can replace this guy?
Nah.
What do you think of the uniform choices? There's hardly any trace of your colors. You guys look like the Raiders on the road.
Hey, I don't know. That's Nike right there. I don't really know.
Would you rather have some green and gold in there? Or orange,
hey,
I mean,
as long as it look good on the field, I'm cool playing in it.
Hey, Troy, of all the things that other programs copy from Oregon, what stands out to you the most when you see other teams around the country?
I mean, just you see a lot of teams simulating that tempo offense in and stuff like that. I mean, try to do the flashy uniforms and stuff a little more. I mean, I guess you would say we trendsetters out here. A lot of teams trying to follow.
Troy, can you just talk briefly again? You grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. You said your family are Ohio State fans, but you're a Michigan fan?
Yeah. I don't know. I just like growing up and doing things against my family and rooting for the other team to make them mad. I mean, that was just me, though. But, I mean, I like the Lloyd Carr era, the A-Train, and all them back in the day. So, I mean, that's why I really rooted for them, though.
How did they feel about the matchup?
From the LSU game? Go ahead.
How did they feel about the matchup?
I mean, they excited. They all gonna be there. They trying to get as many tickets as possible. But I mean, they rooting for me. But I mean, they excited just because it's Ohio State. And they know a lot of people around the community talking a lot of smack about the game, so they excited for it.
How old were you when you moved out, left Youngstown?
15.
And you had no ties at all. You like joined Ohio State, watching games, any affiliation?
Nah.
Do you have any reps you remember from that LSU game?
Man. Yeah, I got hit with a double move by Odell Beckham. My first play in the game, they hit me with a slant and go, but they ended up calling a penalty. But I mean, that was when I was young, and I'm ready this time.
So that was your introduction to college. Was that your first rep ever in college?
It might have been like the second or third play, maybe. Like, it was late in the game, and I was ready to jump that slant, so excited. He went up on me. I'm like, oh, there you go. And it was over.